What's up, gamers? My name is See-Through, and some of you might remember me from some of the 700-something grounded videos I made this past year. If you do, drop a like on this video for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Glad to be back. I have some amazing news to share with you guys today. Obsidian Entertainment has given me and a few other creators an opportunity to test and build in Grounded's new game mode called The Playground. And my job as your favorite Grounded creator is to teach you everything I've learned after spending almost 100 hours in this new game mode. I built this tutorial island to not only help teach you how to make your own puzzles, mazes, PvP arenas, or RPG games within the Grounded world, but to also give you a hands-on experience with some of the mechanics that the Playground has to offer. Please be sure to check the description for the map download code for this world if you want to come check it out personally yourself. Make sure you hit the like button for me and consider subscribing if you're not already. Let's go ahead and get into the video. What's up, gamers? How the heck are we doing, man? I know it's been a long time, but we're back on some Grounded with this new Playground update. Oh my god, there's so much that you guys need to learn. There's so much to teach. And I'm going to try, I've put together this tutorial islands. Welcome to See-Through's tutorial island. I will have the map code down in the description if you want it, so you can test out any of the stuff for yourself. But we're going to run right here from right all the way down this way and left back up all the way this way and show you some of the new things that are possible. Some of the new things that are possible. I'm probably going to have a lot of videos like this going a little bit more in depth and in detail in each different scenario. But we're going to start from the very basics here, and I feel like I've covered a pretty good amount of things that are possible in the Playground. Once again, I'll cover a few quick things real fast. So in the Playground, you have play mode and you have design mode. In design mode is where you are literally going to build and put together and use all the logic and items from the game to build an infinite amount of whatever your mind can come up with. There's also a new map that is literally just a big empty square. It's freaking awesome. Everything about this is cool, but this video specifically, I'm going to show you what all this is. What does all this do, and what the heck is it all? I'll try to break it down really simple and easily for you here. So we'll just get started here. So here we have a button. This button activates an effect. I'm trying to figure out why, for some reason, these are only from a distant view. I don't really know. Yeah, they're set to only near, but oh, okay, now they're working. Okay. All right, so this is a button plus an effect. You can have a button, a switch, a lever. I'll show you all that down there. But this here is a trigger that will trigger any sort of visual effect that the game has to offer. So you can see that I'm smashing this button, and it's pretty much showing a raw science splatter effect. Super cool. Here we have a button plus sound. So you can have sounds activated. And here we have a sound plus an effect and triggered by the button at the same time. So big explosion sound. Yeah, so that's pretty much something you can do there. I'll break down real quick kind of how these work. So these exclamation marks here are pretty much a text marker, right? So these are what is allowing this text to float right here. They're customizable. You can go in and set a custom marker. You can make it to where it's like a colored, thing like that. You can make it to where they're visible at all times. You can make them, you can press G to edit them and make them to where they're constantly on or off. On display near or far, or you can do it to where it shows a player distance. Always, and then, you can go into play mode, and then it tells us, how far away we are, kind of like flags do in the normal Grounded. But yeah, so this is some pretty cool stuff here. So let's move on to the next section. Like I said, I don't want to get too much dove deep into the specifics of everything, but more or less this button here, you can drag your connection over. We connect it to the sound. We pick what sound we want, the volume, the pitch. There's a ton of sound effects in here. Same goes for actual visual effects as well. Tons of visual effects. But you more or less are telling that switch to make that happen. Is about the best way to explain this. So we'll go down the line here. It gives you guys kind of an idea. I'm more or less just showing you the possibilities of things that are possible. So here we have a button that turns on the lights. Nothing extra happens. It just turns on and off all the lights. So that's pretty awesome. Here's the same exact thing, but with the newly added switch. The switch turns on and off the lights here as well. This lever does the exact same thing, just a different scenario. You know, the button is more for a toggle on, or sorry. Wow, I can't think of the word right now. But you push it once and something happens, and you push it again and you can make it go back. Here we have pressure plates that are only active if you are standing on them, or if you have, let's say, a pebble on them as well. This also works. So if I drop one, the pebble's on there and that activates. So that brings out all kinds of different kind of crazy stuff you can do with that. Here we have this one set to heavyweight. You can't really read the text for some reason. Like I said, it's still early for me here on early access and stuff, but this is a lightweight one and this is a heavyweight one. You have 3 options. When you're looking at these, you have 3 options: low, medium, or high, which is pretty much 1, 2, or 3. So if we go back into play mode here, take our rocks out, you can see that when we add the rocks on, 3 rocks, ignites the pressure plate, or activates the pressure plate. And then here we have a pull lever, new pull lever type of thing that allows us to turn lights on and off. Super, super cool. Then we get into timers. There is a certain type of timers if you want to delay something, or you want to activate or repeat or loop any certain sort of thing we've got going on here. The timers have the ability to be seen while you're actually in the game itself, or you can hide them either way. But we press the button, you can see the timer. That's a 3-second timer, and that turns it on and off. Okay. Timers reset when finished. So this will go through a series of 1-second timers, 1, 2, 3, and then they will actually reset at the end. You know, default, they don't actually do that. So you have to do a little bit of stuff here. Like I said, I will break down each one of these, and I'll try to have timestamps, or not timestamps, but descriptions in the link to kind of break down each individual part a little bit better. But like I said, I'm just kind of showing you guys what's possible in this new playground. So here we have light 1 turns on, light 2 turns on, light 3 turns on, and then there's a pause, and then they turn off. So you can see the timer, and then this is our reset timer here to turn them all off. Once again, you know, quite a bit of stuff going on here to make that happen, but I will break all that down for you at some point. Here we have a sender and receiver. In design mode, you can see that there is a transmitter here that will send a signal. So say you push a button, you know, at the Brawny bin, and you want to turn a light on in the Hedge Lab. That's pretty much like how you would use this sender and receiver. As long as the sender and receiver are on the same channel, there's a possibility of 100 channels going on here. Then you can activate anything from anywhere. So you can see here, this is obviously a short distance, but we can use that, press it multiple times to activate that over and over again. So that's super cool. This is pretty much showing off the player volumes. So these big squares here are more or less switches that you walk into, and they activate when you walk onto them. So when I enter it, it turns the lights on. And when I leave it, it does nothing, because that's the way I programmed it and set it up. So when we enter, it's on, and we leave, it does nothing. That's what this reset button's here for. So we can rinse and repeat, do it again. Okay, perfect, just like that. And this one is triggered to when I enter it, they turn on, and when I leave, they turn off. So it's like almost like an occupancy sensor, right? So like if you go into a bathroom and you turn on the light, or you have one of those fancy occupancy wall sensors, you know, you walk in the bathroom, the lights turn on, you leave the bathroom, they turn off. Really great for energy efficiency if that's what you want. Here we have what's called a blocking volume. It looks like a big red square like this. These are pretty much if you want to, say you build like a PvP arena and you don't want people to go outside the map, you can put these blocking volumes up, and as you can see, I can't walk through it. So pretty cool. Here is 2 more examples of kind of a switch, but switches that you have to hold down. This is the scanner. This scanner is going to make this Mant statue up here turn on and explode once it's completed. So there we go, little diddle ding. And this is also a new burgle flag that's been added, kind of a capture the flag. Once the flag is captured, it'll put the fire out on the left side, just like that, with a little splash animation. One of my more favorite parts of this update, they added in teleporters. So now, I do believe these are, a lot of the stuff is only going to be available in play mode, not in actual survival. But I don't believe these are available in actual survival. But same thing as the sender and receiver. You can adjust them to 1 of 100 channels, so you can have up to 100 destinations to teleport to, which is honestly insane. There's no way you can have like one main hub to where everything brings you to one central hub. So you would have to have a channel 1, and channel 2. You'd have to have 2 of each. So that makes it a little complicated. But hopefully in the future we'll see, we'll see like a master hub teleporter that every other teleporter brings you to or something. There's a way to set it up, but it's extremely complicated. So here we have the wind turbine plus volume trigger. So the same volume trigger that enabled these lights over here. We're going to walk into this, and it's going to trigger the fan. Once we get high enough, the fan shuts off because we're no longer in the volume trigger, and it keeps bouncing us up and down. And they also added this pillow to make it to where you don't take fall damage. So that's super cool. Here are pretty much the assistant manager obstacles. So you turn these on here. And so yeah, you can cause some absolute mayhem and destruction with those. Super cool. Nothing crazy about that really. Here we have the power-ups. So if you're building like a PvP map or maybe just like an RPG style map, these are all the power-ups in the game. You have a movement speed increase, an attack speed increase, a defense speed or defense percentage increase. That's actually attack percentage because this is attack speed. But heal, life steal, life on kill, berserker, and then water breathing and gas immunity. So these pretty much work just like this. You know, you just pick them up just like that, and yeah, you get all of these buffs down here. Super cool. Next we have the newly added basketball. So you can actually see Willow bouncing the ball. It's actually super complicated to actually shoot it, but you can throw it with your left click, right? And you can also huck it with your throw button, whatever your huck button is. So if you end up scoring, we've got these new scoreboards where that'll keep track. So if you want to play any sort of basketball game or something like that, you can do so. And then, you know, we've got the reset button set up there to reset that puppy. So, all right, on to the next part. You can set up buttons to spawn creatures. So let me flip back and forth between this. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, like I said, early alpha testing, you know what I mean? Spawn creature. Push a button to spawn creatures. You can trigger any sort of action to spawn a creature, as well as despawn a creature. You can also spawn mini creatures, and you can despawn them all as well. Up to 10 per spawner you can have going on there. Here, what do we have going on here? So, okay, so this is looks like triggering markers or something like that. So we can press the button, and that will toggle on and off the markers like I originally discussed with you. And then we can also walk into this area, and, you know, it pops up with the diamond and does a little effect as well. So reset it, do it again, bada boom, just like that. Pretty sweet. You can have a auto equipper or an auto inventory filler. That's pretty much what these are here. So say I want that armor on. All I do is I push the button, and all the armor is now on me. Super awesome. Same thing with the weapons. Boom. Got there. So now we've got our black ant sword and our shield as well. You can also equip a certain amount of things to your inventory. Obviously, you can see that my inventory is empty. You can see that 32 supreme shards have been added. I could smash this button and get, like, you know, 500 million supreme shards. You know, just endless possibilities with this kind of stuff. So here we have, let me switch back and forth so it resets it here. equal. Okay, so there's a little bit of logic. These next like 3 or 4 areas are going to be what's called logic. In the build menu, let me switch back here. You're gonna find all kinds of cool stuff here. Here's all our switches and buttons. Here's all our gameplay and fun items. And like I said, I'm gonna make detailed breakdowns of all of this stuff so I can really teach you guys, you know, how to use it all. I've spent a ton. I've spent like 60 hours on this up to this point trying to figure all this out. But yeah, so there's gonna be these counters with conditions. There's gonna be switch gates. And there's going to be a switch gizmo. And like I said, I'm going to break all that down for you guys a little bit more in depth and detail. But this will show you kind of what happens. So when this more or less says equals to 3, spawns a power up. So when there's 2, nothing happens, right? It doesn't matter if it's these 2. Okay, never mind. I lied. So, okay, so when 3 switches are triggered, more or less when 3 pulses are sent, and the reason that happened is because I went 1, 2, 3, or something like that. Okay, yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Still learning a little bit, but yeah, that's kind of what that one's supposed to be. This one is supposed to be any switch turns on a light, so it doesn't matter if it's this switch, or this one, or this one, or this one. They're all wired up the same way. You can see that we have this any switch gate here that pretty much inside of that switch gate, it just says comparison any. So when anything that is attached to that switch gate happens, then the lights will turn on. So next we have all switches turn the lights on. So you have to have all switches enabled in order for the lights to actually turn on. This is an at least 2. So at least 2 of the switches have to be triggered. Doesn't matter which one they are. Doesn't matter if they're the outside ones, you know, or the inside ones. Either way, 2 things have to happen in order for these lights to turn on. And it's not limited to switches, guys. This is limited to anything. So like 2 things, period, have to happen. You can set it up where there's 2 creature spawners. Each one spawns 1 ladybird larva. And as soon as you kill those 2 ladybird larva, then the lights turn on, type of thing. Okay, so I mean, it's like you guys cannot wrap your brain around what we got going on here. This is just absolutely insane. Same thing happens here. Only one. It doesn't have to be a specific one, but only one of these lights has to turn on. Here we have kind of a looper. These electric shock effects will continuously go forever and ever on just kind of a loop. So if you set up some kind of like broken down structure, busted up building, and you want some cool like repetitive effects, this would be a cool way to do that. It looks like an absolute mess because it is an absolute mess, but I promise I will teach you the ways. All right, here we have chests, doors, keys, and locks. So if you walk up to these doors, you'll see it says it requires a red key to open it. Well, we pick up the red key. Now we have the red key to open that and the red key to open the chest. All these other ones, the red key does not work for any of these other ones. The super key still works for this one. Same thing for the chest inside. Each key, you know, can open each door. Pick the key up, open the door. Everything is lockable. Doors are lockable, chests are lockable, everything's lockable. It's super cool, man. Really, really opens up so many possibilities for things to do. The second to last thing here is kind of an archery range. They did add in these archery targets, and they are triggerable by hitting them with a bow and arrow. So if we pick up our bow and arrow here, we hit this button to get some arrows, and then we can shoot this, and you can see our score timer goes up, our scorecard. Bada boom. We got a little sound effect triggered in here too every time we hit one. So you can set something up like once it gets to 10, then something cool happens. But this is kind of just an idea, just to kind of show you guys, you know, what's possible in this new playground mode. It's just it's unreal. Wait till you guys see some of the stuff I've created. And here we have a pressure plate. This was kind of a temporary thing. I actually didn't even mean to leave this in here, but I was trying to find a way to create a basketball goal without it being a basketball goal, like sending it through an actual hoop and the basketball landing there. But unfortunately, the basketball does not weigh enough to trigger the pressure plates. So it is what it is. But anyway, hopefully this guy's kind of gave you a breakdown of what to expect with this playground mode. And like I said, I'm going to have a huge playlist ready to launch. All these videos are going to drop at the exact same time once my embargo is lifted here. And yeah, man, go through all the videos, check everything out. I appreciate you all. Much love so much. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.